Pastor Michael KALEJAYE. In the dungeon of the Marine Kingdom. I've given you an eye to see visions, tongue to prophesy, and demons to help you accomplish all your tasks. You have no excuse for any failure in this assignment because this is the main reason why I'm sending you to Earth. I don't care how long it will take you to get him down. I don't care how many years you will remain as his church member until he falls into your trap. I don't care how long you will continue sweeping the church and cleaning the toilet through false humility and zeal. All I want is his destruction. I know you are capable, that's why I'm sending you to him, because he's a threat to our kingdom. Now that you are already a member of his church, begin your operation immediately. Start your attack on his vision and evangelical ministry. No time wasting. No playing around. No hiding of intention. Do whatever you can and begin your operation immediately. Your major assignment is to destroy his vision, his church, his marriage, his relationship with God, weakening his prayer life, and finally, locking his soul up in a bottle and bring it down here in the deep sea. He will pay for all our captives he has set free. You need to start with his marriage first. Make him hate his wife and unable to resist the temptation of divorcing her. Make them hate each other and make him turn his back against his family until all feelings for his wife and children are totally erased from his heart. After that, you are to get closer to him and create a space for yourself in his heart, until he began to lust after you and will not be able to resist your feelings in his heart. I will not tolerate any failure in this urgent assignment, Jekiah. Bewitch him with your beauty, seduce him constantly through eye-to-eye contacts, make him divorce his wife and marry you. But if the wife wants to become too stubborn through her prayers, kill her immediately. Once he gets into your trap, you must show him no mercy. As you know, our time is short, and we are to take over all churches and get rid of anyone who tries to preach the truth. Holiness and righteousness must become things of the past. These were the instructions the Queen of the Coast was given to Princess Jekiah concerning Pastor Michael of PhD. Pastor Michael KALEJAYE is the founder and the general overseer of Prophetic Healing and Deliverance Ministry, PhD, Ojueleba, Lagos. He was once a member of Mountain of Fire and Miracle Ministry before he set up his own ministry. He has once conducted a series of deliverance on many people during his time in MFM Church, and he has set many captives free from the bondage of the Queen of the Coast. The Kingdom of Darkness already knew about his ministry many years before he started. They knew God has anointed him a minister of the gospel, and he will cause much havoc to the Kingdom of Darkness. Many agents from the Marine Kingdom were sent to his church, but Jekiah happens to be their leader. Jekiah was a beautiful and talented young girl when she joined Pastor Michael's church, but very terrible, dangerous and powerful compared to the rest of the agents in the church. Not even her parents know her to be Jekiah, but people know her as Oluwatosin Rebecca, but her real name in the Marine Kingdom is Jekiah. When she joined the church, she became so zealous in the work of God. As a young teenager, she would wake up very early and tidy up the church even before the arrival of the pastor, and yet she will never be late to the service. She also joined the choir and was very talented. Everyone who has seen the way she devoted herself to the work of God knew she will be a great minister in the future, but no one knew she was on another assignment different from what they were seeing. Sister Rebecca prayed and fasted a lot, and most of the time, she prophesies and sees a lot of visions. 8 years later, she became a prayer warrior, and she was very active to the extent that she became the prophetic leader of the church. Pastor Michael wishes he had married a woman like Rebecca because of her zeal for the work of God, not minding the age gap, and everyone in the church believes she is an angel sent to the PhD ministry, but unknown to them that she was on a different assignment. Sister Rebecca became so close to the pastor and his family due to the position she held in the church, and she was also very generous to the pastor's family. But unknown to the pastor and his family, she was just sowing a seed of hatred and misunderstanding into the family of the pastor through her false generosity. Many times she monitors the pastor's house through a mirror in her room. After a while, the spirit of arrogance, disobedience, and insubordination began to rise up in the life of Esther, who is the wife of the pastor. Whenever there is a little misunderstanding, Esther would blast her husband even in the presence of the children. Esther couldn't explain why she was behaving in such a way, and yet she finds it too difficult to stop because she was operating under the spells of Jekiah. Neither could Pastor Michael discern what was going on in his family. Instead, he began to develop hatred and bitterness towards his wife, till the love they have for each other began to fade away. Pastor Michael began to hate his wife and wished she could just die so that he can get married to Sister Rebecca. And as a result of this evil thought, he couldn't hear the voice of God anymore, neither could he control his temper, but began to develop hatred towards his wife and never stop attacking her in his sermons. When Rebecca realized that Pastor Michael has begun to nurture hatred in his heart towards his wife, she knew he could no longer be a threat to her anymore. Then she began to launch different spiritual attacks over Pastor Michael, through eye-to-eye contact, sexual intercourse in the dream, and many other ways she chose. Many times she would visit the pastor in his office and fire him a spiritual arrow of lust through her eyes. Many times she will be at home monitoring this family in her magic mirror so as to know what will be the next attack. Many times Pastor Michael will see Esther, his wife, in a dream, chasing him with a knife and gun, wanting to kill him. Many times he would see Esther tying up his hands and legs in the dream, and Sister Rebecca would show up and rescue him. Many times he would see Esther trying to burn down his church, and Rebecca shows up and quenches the fire. With these dreams, Pastor Michael concluded in his mind that Rebecca is the Messiah sent to his life, but unknown to him, that he was under the spells of Sister Rebecca. One day, Pastor Michael announced to his congregation that the Lord has asked him to divorce his wife and marry Sister Rebecca so that his promise for his life would be fulfilled. These spiritual attacks continued over Pastor Michael until he decided to divorce his wife and propose to Sister Rebecca, after lying to the church that the Lord instructed him to do so. Unknown to him that he was operating under the spells of Sister Rebecca. Let's stop here. Whenever you see a pastor's wife suddenly becoming submissive and disrespecting to the husband, and it looks as if she never wants to support the ministry of the husband, note that the wife is not the main target but the husband, who is under the influence of the marine kingdom. Their main target is the husband, but they always achieve their purpose through the wife supporting them ignorantly to achieve their aims. When your wife is becoming disrespecting, stubborn and against your ministry, you must pray a prayer to deliver her from any power influencing her negatively, or else you yourself will sink terribly. There is nothing like mistakes in marriage. Once the Lord has spoken, and you haven't listened to his instruction in the area of marriage but went ahead and marry whom he hasn't approved for you, it is your burden to bear. But you need to know that the Lord also has the power to change bitterness into sweetness, because with him all things are possible. Even if that man/woman you married from the beginning is not his will for you, he is able to make the marriage work out because he's a merciful God. If he knows the woman's problem will be too much for you to bear, he will never let you marry her no matter how you want to go ahead in the marriage. But for him to know you will disobey him and still allow you to go ahead, note that he has already created you to endure any challenges you may encounter in the future. Whenever you see any man of God giving any reason for divorcing his wife to get married to someone else, you should be clear that he's under the influence of the marine kingdom. the Queen of the Coast has the vow to take over all the churches in the whole world so that the word of God in Luke 18:8 will come to pass. When the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on the earth? 80% of the pastors we see today are already in the captivity of the marine kingdom, and many are doing miracles through the bewitchment of their wives. Becoming a pastor's wife is not an easy task. If you want to be a pastor's wife, and you are not prayerful, few things are likely to happen to you. You may likely die before your time so that an agent of darkness will take over your position. You may be initiated with the spirit of witchcraft so that you will be an instrument to destroy the ministry of your husband. You may likely become evil, wicked and unsupporting towards your husband's ministry. You and your husband may likely divorce each other. At times when they see that a pastor's wife is a strong woman and will never stop praying for her husband, and as a result of that, they can't attack their marriage, they will look for a way to attack the mind. When they can't do that, they try to extinguish the prayer life and discernment of the man through giving of gifts. It's good to receive gifts from members of the church, but not all gifts are a gift. It doesn't matter whom you have married, our God is never an author of confusion that will adjust his word to suit your will. I learned of a pastor who came on social media to tell the world the Lord instructed him to divorce his wife who has borne him 3 children and to get married to another younger woman who is young enough to be his daughter. It doesn't matter what he may be preaching on the altar, the spirit of immorality will influence the life of every member of the church because it will work like a contagious virus and the members will begin to do the same. All these are the influences of the marine kingdom, and this bewitchment has held many ministers of God captives in the spiritual realms. https://spiritreports.blogspot.com/2020/07/pastor-michael-kalejaye.html